Braydon, you've been in a lot of playoff series. Does home ice advantage mean as much during the playoffs as it does during the regular season?
Home ice in the regular season? I think, when it really comes into factor is when you get into that Game 7 and you can play at home for whatever reason, that seems to be comfortable. But, I think we went into New York and won that one in Game 7 there too. So, it's tough to say. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. It just depends, your opposition and how you're playing at home.
Braydon, what's the challenge like? You guys, when Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane have been together, Victor Hedman and Anton Strawman have kind of shut them down. When they're split apart, and John kind of depends on you and Matt or you and Jason to stop them, what's that challenge like to try to stop both of them when they're separate?
Well, they're two very talented players, so you got to make sure you're playing them tight and not give them a lot of room to make plays and be creative. They're tough players to play against. You just have to have the mindset that you're playing against good players, and that's it doesn't change whether they're together or they're apart. That Chicago team's got a lot of deep talent in the forward lines, so there's challenges. Whoever you're facing out there.
Braydon, in a situation like you faced yesterday with inexperienced goalie coming in virtually cold in a very, very tight game, do you have time to be conscious of that and to think differently about trying to defend in front of him, or everything just keeps going the way it was?
Well, I think you want to give him as much support as you can. You want to make sure you're playing smart. Obviously, that time of the game, you're trying to play as smart as you can anyway. But I just, personal experience and knowing Vasi and just the way he prepares and kind of the way he handles himself, I was pretty confident that he was going to be ready when he was called upon when he went in.
Ondrej, Stamkos mentioned how much a higher or faster pace Game 2 was than Game 1, more up and down. Why do you think there was such a change from more of a defensive style in Game 1 to 2?
I don't know. I thought the first game we play well the first 2 periods, and the second game we just did that for 60 minutes, and I felt in the second period it opened up a little bit. They had some chances, we had too, and I don't know. I thought it was good hockey, for the fans. And I don't know. It was just good.
Sorry to follow on that, Braydon. Do you ever, after a game like that last night, that to us looked like a track meet, it was fun to watch? Do you guys, can you sit back and appreciate it for what it is as well, or are you just happy to get the win and move on? I mean, is that something you wait for the summer to talk about or think about?
Well, I think right after the game, you're happy to get the win. Obviously, I think a few guys noted that the game was fast. There was a lot of up and down actions. Everything happened quick out there, as opposed to some other series and other games. I thought that might have been one of the fastest ones that we've played so far in the playoffs. Just both teams back and forth, guys making plays quickly with the puck and just the pace up and down the ice.
For both of you guys, actually, Steven said he wasn't sure what the goaltending situation was going to be tomorrow. Does that change preparation-wise anything for you guys in terms of what you want to do as you look ahead to Game 3?
As long as they don't need me to back up or anything like that, it doesn't change anything for me. I just focus on my game and getting ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we're confident in both goalies. If it's Vasi or Bish, they're highly skilled both, so it doesn't change anything.
Braydon, just with the inexperience or the youth on this team, are you surprised at the way this team has been able to adjust throughout going into the Stanley Cup Finals? It seems like no matter what style of game it was, from the tight check in Game 1 to a wide open style in Game 2, it seems that no matter what style is needed to be played, this team can play it.
Yeah, I think that that kind of goes into the depth of the team. This team can play a lot of different ways, and I think we've had a lot of success through the regular season and through the playoffs so far. But I think there's a lot of guys like Pally and Johnny and a handful of guys that had success at the American level as well. And I think they're able to rely on some of that playoff experience. And there's a few guys that have went all the way just last year. You know, the Ranger guys that were there went to the finals, and obviously Mo's got the cup, and Val's got the cup, and probably forgetting someone else. But you know, we got some experience, and there's young guys, but you know, they've had success at different levels as well.
Braydon, you made a joke there about if they need you to back up. Have you ever been a goalie? Would you ever
No,
back up or
not.
anything like that?
That's solely a joke.
Ondrej, with your line breaking through with a couple goals last night, and now Chicago getting the last change at home, do you expect a tougher defensive assignment, maybe a little more specific attention paid to you guys?
I don't know, not really. I thought we play against Keith and Jemerson most of the time, so I don't know. I don't expect it's gonna change. So, yeah.
Braydon, preparation might not change depending on the goalie, but obviously Bishop likes to play the puck a lot. I don't know how much Vasilevsky does. How does that change within a game, how you guys go back to get it or how you break out?
Well, I think both of them are very good puck handlers. Probably Bish has got a little more experience doing it. But I don't know how much it would change. I think you know, you still have your routes and you still have your reads of what you're going to do. You know, maybe you know, it's a tough question to ask to answer. Sorry, just because you know, I'm not too sure. You know, there would be too much change just because of the way we break out and kind of the structure of our defensive breakouts.